sometimes take evaluation of where you are, where you're going, and how does that look in our life. And so I looked at my journal, and I marked down three things. I said, number one, I've got to regularly take inventory of my life. And I put this phrase in: if I had 30 days left to live, what would I focus on? And if we had that as our mentality, if we only had 30 more days on this planet, what would we focus on and let that drive our life? I think we would find more impact in every aspect. That would be in our marriage, to our family, um, to our ministries, and to our community. The second thing is you have to make yourself accountable. Uh, I was going to tell you, I was speaking about Mike Pence is getting barbecued, no pun intended, about his conviction of not being alone with a woman except his wife. And that's not original with him. I mean, the first one I'd ever heard that put that principle in place was Billy Graham. He just has applied that. I pray all of us are living by that, and I can't help but think if our own governor had adhered to that conviction, we wouldn't be in the state of our situation right now. So you have to make yourself accountable to live by your convictions, because if they're just preferences to us, we'll compromise. But if they're true convictions, you're not going to compromise your lifelong conviction. It can be built up in a lifetime and taken down just by a second. So you have to submit to accountability. It's like what we've always heard. You can't lead until you've submitted yourself to be a follower of Christ. It all begins at the feet of Jesus. And the third thing, if we're really going to do it, making the most out of our life, you're going to focus on what matters most. And think about what matters most. Not just in a temporal sense. I'm talking about what matters. Eternity matters. I mean, they call me an evangelist. That's not because I stand on a platform. They call you a minister not because you stand on a platform. It's who we are. We're about kingdom-minded living. That we're citizens here, but we're dual citizenship. We're ambassadors for the sake of Christ. So what matters is eternity. There's only two things that are going to last. You know what they are: souls of men and the Word of God. So when I say what matters, people matter. If you're not careful in ministry, we'll start thinking of budgets and noses and buildings. But when you get right down to it, it's the people we get a chance to. That's the reason I love this. Your life is being intersected right now with fellowship and relationship. We were in South Africa, and a pastor said something I've never forgotten. He said, "You know what amazes me? You folks from America, you have watches, but you have no time. In South Africa, we have no watches, but we have lots of time. If you're going to be moving so fast, doing things that other people want you to do, that if you're really going to make an impact, you've got to focus yourself on what matters most: eternity, people, and ultimately, we know this, it's our own relationship with Christ. Man, we preach a good game. We'll travel across the state to preach a message, but it's that personal, intimate relationship with Christ. I have it written down in my journal, and it's just kind of on the forefront where I am right now. It says a totally surrendered life to Christ will never face boredom. So if you ever, it amazes me how people that are even in our churches and people we meet, it's a boring life. Man, I'm telling you, it's a great adventure. If you know Christ, because there's always an assignment for those who are willing to say, "Lord, I'm your servant. You tell me what you want to do." So, as we fellowship, this is really what matters in the overall scheme of things. If you're like me, I have my own job at the house. I take out the garbage. No one else can take out. I take out the garbage. And that's my key to my life. That it doesn't matter how many people pat you on the back after a Sunday morning message, doesn't matter how many people want to come up and give you accolades. Be willing to take out the garbage, because quite honestly, like Maxwell's taught us all, those who are closest to us should respect us the most. They should know we don't just preach Jesus, we live it. It's not what we do, it's just who we are. So it is. I hope you understand how unique of a situation this is. We were just talking about how in 30 years of ministry, a DA, an insurance, I mean, guys that are just serving and love Jesus and love men, guys, y'all harness this energy, keep on going. This is just an awesome ride that you're on. So with that, that's all I got, DA. It's